What you say?
You blood?
Nah, I don't gang bang. That shit not cool. Stay in school, man.
Let me have that ring, cuz. Let me have that.
Yeah, hey, hey, you know I ain't going for no sucker shit. You know I ain't high, I ain't ducking shit. You did all that time just to get out and snitch. You feeling little tricked off from the bitch. I got a bad blue with all on some sticks. The sales 6 and I chunks out a brick. I'm not famous, I still hit a lick. I still pull up with a whole lot of split. Getting any chance, but then they just switch. That is not part of the game, you a glitch. Yeah, that is not part of the game, you a glitch. Yeah, getting a chance, then they just switch. Yeah. That ain't a part of the game, you a glitch. Saucy ass nigga won't say shit. Like, hey, you gon' rat on some snake shit. Hey, talk real talk on some fake shit. Niggas acting real soft on some gay shit. Boy, I got kids on play shit. Jacob New York just spray shit. I am not famous, I still hit a lick shit. Chew on your face, your dick in your bitch. I gave them a chance, but then they just switch. I'm cool from the shoulders, I shoot from the hip. I pray to God that I made me a grip, and the devil don't make none of my niggas flip. This thing will drop bodies that make niggas flip. Watch what you see get punched in your lip. I ride a pipe for the whole gang to sip. Too much for me, just follow the drip. This 40 cal on me, I bang it like grip. Do the rest like the K, nigga, watch how I dip. All these hoes love me, I should've been pimp. Man, if you hate on me, you must be a simp. But you don't want to fight cause you know you're a wimp. Yeah. You don't want to fight cause you know you're a wimp. Yeah. You know I ain't going for no sucker shit. You know I ain't high, I ain't ducking shit. You did all that time just to get out and snitch. You feeling little tricked off from the bitch. I got a bad blue and all on some sticks. The sales 6 and I chunks out a brick. I'm not famous, I still hit a lick. I still pull up with a whole lot of split. Getting any chance, but then they just switch. That is not part of the gang, you a glitch. Yeah. That is not part of the gang, you a glitch. Yeah. Getting a chance, then they just switch. Yeah. That ain't a part of the game, you a glitch.
I can make a young nigga shake it, break it, run up on you, get the job done. OG like Mako, so if I say so, they get the Draco and rob some. I'm at your neck like a chain, straight at your head like a brain, aim for your heart like a range. Put some respect on my name, and the whole DFG gang, bitch. Talking outside of your brain, you pussy niggas is jokes. Y'all stay away from the flame, cause what you don't want is smoke. Running your mouth to your hoe, running your mouth like a hoe. You even lied on your hoe. I fuck around and give her a go, and she gon' give me that throat, topping me out on the floor, slanging all on the bed. I'm about to put on a show. I put your head in the scope, might put your neck in the choke. You must be sniffing the coke. BRE bitches and hoes.
You know I ain't going for no sucker shit. You know I ain't high, I ain't ducking shit. You did all that time just to get out and snitch. You feeling little tricked off from the bitch. I got a bad blue with all on some sticks. The sales 6 and I chunks out a brick. I'm not famous, I still hit a lick. I still pull up with a whole lot of split. Getting any chance, but then they just switch. That is not part of the game, you a glitch. Yeah. That is not part of the game, you a glitch. Yeah. Getting a chance, then they just switch. Yeah. That ain't not part of the game, you a glitch.
Luciano on the beat, bitch. All the comes to this shit, bitch. I'm the best.
Here we go. Good evening. Good evening. I didn't know that you couldn't hear me because I'm so out of touch. Cindy Lou Who, thanks so much for your contribution, Queen. You know, it means the world to me, baby. Thank you so much. Thank you. And Jackie, Rosie is spoiled. Thank you so much for your contribution, baby. You know, it means the world to me. So, tonight, hey, Miss Izzy, Cindy, Stasia, pardon me, Rumor. Hey, Crybaby. What's up, baby? Out of touch. Yeah. Means I can't be touched. You know, I had a good talk with Izzy this evening, and she reminded me of something I used to say way back in the gap. And it was that it's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. Ooh, wow. Ooh-wee. Hey, Miss Laurie, how you doing, baby? Bonkers. It's better to be a warrior in the garden than a gardener in a war. Hey, gossip, Lion Mama, Cheeky Vamp. I appreciate all of y'all for joining me this evening. Tonight, I loosely put something together, but I know you guys. Hey, Sandy, I know you guys have heard me talk about the YouTube. I hate to call them gods because it seems sort of blasphemous. Hey, Mr. Nobody, how you doing, sir? Loosely talk about the YouTube gods and how I know we've all experienced the feeling like, there's an 18,000 hour live going on and you happen to tune in and hear just that thing you needed to hear at that point in time. And so I've put together a few things, and tonight is going to be, tonight is on a serious vibe. Although there will, I'm sure, be some comedic commentary that is, it's going to be kind of sucky at the same time, right? So one of the things that I think has been really apparent to, not a parent, but apparent to a lot of us who have been watching Ernie for a long time. So much of what has come to light just in the past 72 hours, I think most of us knew these things, right? You see Larry Dickham in the corner. Yeah, Miss Flossie put me up on Larry. On Larry. Hey, and I'm digging Mr. Larry. You hear me? Stasia, that's just it. So one of the things that I found really powerful, there's been so many comments made, and I know that a great deal of us have heard all of the things, and then I know that there's a portion of us who haven't heard all of the things. And one of the things that I think I want to start out by saying is that if you are a spiritual person, it's a slippery slope, right? Because I'm not going to go deep into it. Hey, April, but we all know what it says in the Bible about same-sex relationships, right? And that's not a differential for me in the scenario as it relates to Ernie and Chris, right? I've seen some of the stuff, and I think this Chris guy, I've seen all of the Instagram stuff people are posting and restreaming. And I'll tell you that I think that this Chris guy, let me say it this way. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody did a background check on Chris and you saw some pretty weird, wild stuff in there. At the same time, the Chris has this human affect that he's funny, he's quirky, he's witty. It's not my thing, but I can see why Ernie likes him. I see why Ernie, as a person, I see why Ernie might like Kenny, or Chris, why Ernie might like Chris. Now, I think another thing that's hold on. I'm trying to gain my composure. Oh, I got a new right here. This one. Got a new pair of shoes I'll never wear. Jordan 4s, Flight Clubs. Yep, love them. Yeah, I'm slowly building an empire of sneakers I will never wear. Unlike Ernie, who runs around here in only sneakers he will wear. One at a time, though. No, but seriously. So, I think one of the things that has become very clear is that, hey, Mr. Wings, is that Ernie certainly lacks the character. Now, I don't know if that's by virtue of chemical enhancement or because I was speaking with another gentleman last night about the whole Ernie phenomenon, right? And one of the interesting things about the Ernie phenomenon is that you can really fixate your mind on believing, especially now, that Ernie could have potentially had something to do with the Ronnie King situation, right? I believe earlier in his life, which would have been around 2013, 12, 13, 14, 15, right in that era of time, Ernie, I do believe, possessed a criminal sophistication that, looking back today, if we knew now what we knew then, right, or vice versa, you see how that can start to play a portion. Now, one of the things that I find so interesting about that is a commentary that I heard Nick talk about. Ernie, during all of this time, tried to destroy a hard drive. And what was interesting is that you start to segue into this lack of criminal sophistication when, during the time that his brother is going through the two murder trials, essentially, Ernie finds himself destroying things that ultimately were used as evidence against his testimony in the second trial, right? Maybe even in the first trial. I don't know, right? Now, yes, you're right, sidekick. Now, one of the things that I want to talk about is that enabling, right? And we'll get back to that here in a few minutes. But what's interesting about the whole dynamic is that enter in dope, right? Now, if there is anyone still left on the internet that believes that this behavior that we're seeing is not, is White Boy in here? If White Boy's in here, good to see you, Matt. Hey, there you go. Yeah, Matt, it really was wild. It's absolutely littered. It is a minefield of information, right? So enter in the dope, right? That gets me back on track. So, and thank you everyone for joining me. You enter in the dope, and we see there's a long-standing history of either tests, information that has been left places that we know he's tested positive, or like the Perry Parkway that he was walking down that was recorded and is still available to this day, where the cop walks up and says, "Hey, what are you doing?" He says, "Nothing, sir." During that ride, he admitted to the officers that earlier in the evening he had taken methamphetamines, right? So I know people like to make this stretch, no pun intended. They like to make this stretch on Ernie being catatonic for other reasons other than methamphetamines, right? Now, just the same way that Ernie represses his homosexuality, I do believe that he also, to the general public, will also conceal the fact that he is, while he's active, it appears a pretty heavy methamphetamine user, right? This is not new information. I think that we're starting to see a pattern that when he's dealing with the predator hunter world best he can, when he's in that light, we'll call it, he's probably primarily sober. Okay. Now, I think that in the past year or two, those two have feathered in, they've dovetailed into one another, where you see him doing predator stuff, but you know that he's clearly high, right? Now, when he's back into the darkness, you have this whole layer of Ernieism that is very, very dangerous. Okay. He is a power bottom. Okay. He uses drugs undercover, under the cloak, right? He mixes the two, right? The drugs and the same sex relation. And more disturbing than that is the fact that he absolutely refuses to take accountability for telling future partners that he is infected with HIV, right? So that is super dangerous, right? You start to see the way that this failure this has probably been very problematic, and that Ernie Shell is a known super spreader. Okay. Cowgirl, yes, it is. Ernie is clearly a super spreader, right? Now, to touch back on just for a moment, there was a time, and I'm guessing it's 2.5, 3 years now. And please don't make me drag my mother up here to, I don't have to do all that. You know, if you know, you know, if you were there, you were there. Ernie Shell calls me and he tells me he's sick. He tells me, and I've seen it in the chats, it's the blowfish phenomenon. He claims he went to a banquet with MAGA and that they both ate blowfish, that the blowfish was undercooked or not cooked correctly, and that almost a year to the date, he comes down sick. But he also mentions that MAGA is sick as well. Now, I'm not trying to stretch this into changing your beliefs or impacting your beliefs, but it is my belief that there is a potential that he has either knowingly or unknowingly had a relationship with MAGA where she may have contracted this disease. I don't know. There is talk about a child that was miscarried or what have you. And I don't know a lot about that. That's their personal business. But I heard Nick say that Ernie clearly is mad at the world for having HIV and that he's spreading it one partner at a time. Okay. One partner at a time. Massachusetts is ambiguous about the disclosure of a particular disease. I researched it. And that's problematic as well. Right now, I want to jump forward really quick, and we're gonna kind of, I want to cover this really quick. It's a short story, right, at best, but it has a long history. Now, these women that have enabled Mr. Shell throughout the course of all of this, they think that they're individual. He has this ability to make these ladies, right, to make these ladies feel like they're a part of something bigger than themselves. It's larger than thou, right? Now, these clearly are fractured minds, okay? Why I say that is, hey, Justin, is that this one here in particular, Mo knows best. Mo was a trusted friend of Ernie's for, in the continuum, a short amount of time. He went to visit her at her place in Michigan, okay? But now Mo is like so many of them, right? Read right here. She says, "Hello, Lisa, it's Mo. I'm pretty sure you've got my main account blocked, understandably. So, but yes, you're correct. Ernie tried to persuade me to take him to your place, and I absolutely said no way." This Mo gal, she is disgusting. And I'll tell you what, this Mo gal, there is a plethora of information about her on the internet right now. She's not loyal to anyone, even her fiance, right? Allegedly, okay? So don't you think, Mo, that you ought to, I don't know, about the time Ernie Shell has threatened the life of Lisa K, it doesn't matter if you like Lisa K, love her or hate her or anything in between. Don't you think, do you lack the self-awareness, ma'am, that you don't understand how crazy you look for telling Lisa K this today when you should have walked away from him far before he called you anything he called you that made you walk away? You look completely insane. You are disgusting, Mo. You are of the worst type. And in fact, this behavior right here, Mo, is the same behavior you would expect someone who is a mail carrier who is buying pills online and delivering them to vacant houses along the route. That being said, we're going to dive into this, okay? Ernie Shell is currently being held in the Bridgewater State Hospital, okay? That's Massachusetts Department of Correction. That is a different entity than Dedham County Jail, right? That's a different entity. Now, I'm not here to speculate as to why it's different, but we're going to start this thing out with, oh yeah, that's my merch that I should have dropped. I think that if I dropped this merch, Ernie would still be on the streets today. This merch is called Operation ROE. It's Rescue Our Ernie, right? I was going to donate 15% of all the proceeds after the Teespring and donate that to a HIV nonprofit of Ernie's choice. Kind of hoping that would sort of force him to take yet a wider stroke. Terrible choice of words. A larger approach to him having HIV. Now, one of the things that this scenario does for me is this scenario for me, I have gratitude. There is a level of gratitude that I have for openly gay men and women, right? This scenario, if it doesn't tweak the way you think about it, then I guess you're not human. Maybe you're already to a point that I really wasn't, because I sort of judged, and I understand there's classes to that demographic of people. I know some great gay men. I know some great gay women. My sister was a lesbian, so on and so forth. But knowing what we thought we knew about Ernie, it certainly painted a very dim and bleak portrait of what the lower demographic, sort of the blue collar sort of, and I don't mean to associate that with working class people, but more of like the rough around the edges, right? Now, it's interesting when you do a little research into this situation. It's sort of some of the dynamics of repressed homosexuality, right? Now, I do believe that this and the side effect, the mental side effects of this do play a role into the pathology of what we see walking around as Ernie Shell, right? Now, it says here, repressed homosexuality, often referred to as latent homosexuality or internalized homophobia, occurs when an individual subconsciously suppresses same-sex attractions due to societal, religious, or personal pressure, okay? Common signs and behavioral patterns include overcompensation, adopting hyper-masculine or hyper-feminine traits to avoid being perceived as that, right? Now, I think that jumps out of the box at all of us when we see him flexing his muscles all the time. He's lifting weights at 5 a.m. at Chris's house in the basement, and there ain't a weight bench one, right? We see him running around wanting to be FBI, CIA, Homeland Security, combating child predator under the Donald Trump Act, all of these things, right? Tours and here and there, him always, anytime having an issue, White Boy can even attest to this. Anytime Ernie Shell has an issue with a male creator, first thing he's going to do is threaten to come to your house on the internet, but hasn't showed up to not one ever, right? So it is the overcompensation, right? He's in Walmart proving to all of you people, you good people, that you can't punch the air with 25-pound weights, and that is the measure That is the apex. That is the pinnacle, the alpha and the omega of masculinity. Hey, how you doing? No Lies. All of it. Well, and that's the thing. Okay. However you pronounce that. Forgive me. Cry, baby. Thank you so much for your contribution, Queen. You know it means the world to me, baby. Thank you so much. You see the overcompensation, and to those who are not blinded by a toxic level of enabling, right? We understand that this is a complete overcompensation. It's like, and I was talking to Ziggy, or not Ziggy, Izzy, that when you're a good person, you don't have to try to convince John Q or Sally Q citizenry that you are a good person, because we understand that goes without saying, right? And that if you are trying to convince the citizenry that you are a good person, what you're doing is a complete overcompensation, right? Now, the other thing is that Ernie, from about day 2, his go-to for male creators was that he was either going to make you a pedophile or he was going to make you a homosexual. That's the narrative, right? Nikki, thank you so much for your contribution, Queen. You know it means the world to me, baby. She says, we have been here for over 4 years covering Ernie. We know and understand the pathology of Ernest Shell. We absolutely do. We've seen it, right? There has rarely been a space where Ernie can cohabitate with other male creators. I had to put on the mind twist since I've been back in order to have a close watch on Ernie Shell. And let me tell you what, if you think it's been any more than Ernie Shell, keeping an eye on Ernie Shell, you've been thwarted. And that means it was a master class of trolling. We all, all suggest all, and without the exception of even just one, right? A lot of us have known what we're dealing with here, and that to get to this day meant that you had to have an involvement, because there are, fortunately for me, there has been a group, it has been a collective effort to put pressure on a situation that I myself still feel less than before guilty for even bringing him here. I felt like I opened the door and led him across the threshold to become a factor here, right? Now, homophobic attitudes, displaying strong, vocal, or even aggressive prejudice towards LGBTQ individuals as a defense mechanism, right? I think that sort of falls in line with, do you guys remember when he groomed Gracie? The next day, I was going over it a little bit, and I genuinely had what I would coin or term as my very first legitimate anxiety attack. And it was one of those scenarios where, like, I was live, I started to have one, and it took all I had just to kind of catch my breath. A lot of the ladies in the chat were saying, hey, Benny, just lay back and elevate your legs, lift your legs up. So for that time moving forward, for quite a long time, Ernie would call me Legs Up Benny. And for however dumb the connotation was, because the internet as a whole at that point that was watching all of this, they knew I was having an anxiety attack, and that is one of the precursory things or postcursory things that you can do in order to relieve or give you some alleviation of the anxiety attack. A lot of women here will know. You call me Legs Up Benny for quite a long time. Nikki Blicky, thanks so much for your contribution, Queen. You know it means the world to me. She said Ernie would only address 007 the other day. We all know what that means. 007 probably doesn't, since he doesn't know them. I think we do, right? I think we do. And I'm not suggesting that 007 is in any way attracted to Ernie Shell. But I think that it was a multifaceted deal. It was that hey, what's up, bro? But also this sort of like, Nikki sent it to me earlier. Where is it? Let me see here. It was sort of like this thing right here.
Are you bisexual? Are you bisexual? Are you bisexual?
One of those things, right? Not like with a question mark, but more with like an exclamation point, right? Like inquiring if you are. And you know, one of the things that now looking back, right? I wonder. I do wonder if Ernie, Val, thank you so much for your contribution, Queen. You know it means the world to me, baby. Thank you for 2 contributions, Queen. You know you mean the world to me. I'm sorry, I'm way behind in the chat. Thank you so much, ladies. Thank you dearly. Izzy Pop, thank you so much for your contribution, Queen. You know it means the world to me. Izzy says, hit the thumbs up and share this video to blow up the algorithm. Ring that bell to get all notifications. Thank you so much, Miss Izzy. Thank you, baby. So, where was I? We get to this point. What did Nikki say? When Ernie is on a highway run, he will only address men he's attracted to. There you go. It's sort of this subconscious, like, free for all, right? He's like the hungry hippo. Has anyone ever seen that game or watched the kids play the game, or maybe you've played the game? It's just a hippo that's just grabbing out for anything it can get into its mouth. Terrible choice of words. Anyways, extreme discomfort, feeling disproportionately anxious, angry, or grossed out by same-sex PDA or depictions of gay relationships. I think that Ernie made a very conscious decision to never find himself caught in a realm or depicted in a realm of same-sex relation or even the talk of it, right? There have been pictures and videos that have went around, more so pictures that have been made into videos, but Ernie has shown himself. Ernie has exposed his genitalia on live streams, or a live stream, right? We all remember it was the Nashville tornado that Jimbo sent down there. The ladies get him a room, and next thing you know, he's prancing around in the room and he's showing himself. He'll tell you it was his thumb, but he's carrying something with his left hand and got the phone in his right hand. So unless the man has 3 thumbs, it was not his thumb. But then when he's in the bathtub, he goes even further. Now you have to remember that Ernie knew that Speakeasy was restreaming him. So in my opinion, what Ernie was doing was burying himself, exposing himself to Speakeasy, right? Hands down, bar none. Like that's what I believed was exactly happening right now. Performative dating, entering heterosexual relationships to fit in or prove something to oneself, often feeling empty or queasy during romantic or sexual encounters. Intimacy avoidance, a general lack of interest in sex or distancing oneself oneself from romantic impotency. Poor choice in words. Intimacy entirely. Crush manufacturer. Forcing a crush on a random member of the opposite sex to feel normal or join in on peer conversations. One of the key victims of that would be SG, Southern Girl. He always talks about bouncing his feet on her fat ass. That has been a go-to since the very beginning. He, in fact, even sexualized Mo. He sexualized Lisa Kay. He sexualized Nikki. He sexualized Selah. He has sexualized every woman here. That is probably, in my opinion, right? If you see it, you can see it. That is him identifying himself as sort of this apex male that women want, right? All women want. Even so much in Carolyn's effect, the Carolyn affect was that she would want him so much that she would even jeopardize her health to be with him, right? That's a slippery slope, but it is what it is, right? Now, emotional indicators: chronic guilt or shame, feeling immediate regret, shame, or dirty after sexual activities or thoughts. Constant self-monitoring, mentally checking one's own walk, talk, or gestures to ensure they don't seem gay. That constant self-monitoring clearly manifested itself to all of us with Ernie constantly flexing his muscles in all of these. Everywhere he goes, he's flexing his muscles, right? That is constant self-monitoring, okay? All the time talking about his hair or, this or that. Like, it is a constant, I called it mental masturbation. He was always mentally masturbating in front of us to make us believe that he is this alpha guy. He is real. He is that man. Okay? Now, hey, Janica, good to see you, babe. Envy misidentified as rivalry. Feeling intense hatred or rivalry towards members of the same sex that may actually be unrecognized attraction. That, folks, is textbook lingo for what he had with me. Now, don't misconstrue it into believing that that's what I had for him. Imagine, the only one that I can remember that he could organically get along with all the time was Andrew Hiltz. We know Andrew Hiltz has a long-standing desire to own his own breasts. That he would have to okay with his wife to own a set of breasts. Okay, now, envy misidentified as rivalry. Envy is a deadly sin. We know this, right? Subconscious fixations, obsessive research, frequently reading about coming out stories or researching how to tell if I'm gay under the guise of being a passionate ally. I don't feel like that applies to him at all. Just in me going through it, right? Now, hyper-awareness in private spaces, feeling extreme self-conscious or averting eyes in locker rooms or gyms. Point taken, right? So we're going to move forward here a little bit. Now, I think that this may not apply so much to what we have going on here. This one always applies. This, I believe, is what you might call misinterpreted envy right here. This is Ernie wanting me so bad. Good deal.
Beanie, don't message me right now because I swear to God, I'll drive fucking after I do this, I'll drive plumb to Texas. I'll jerk your little sorry ass out and I'll beat you to a fucking inch of your life. I swear to God, I will. Don't fucking message me again. I'll break you. I'll reach down into your fucking soul and tear your ribs plumb out one by one. I'll break your fucking collarbone. I'll snap your damn ribs with my bare hands. Don't fucking message me again. Don't fucking message me again. Don't do it, boy. I'll jerk your goddamn eyeballs out your fucking head. Don't message me again. Don't do it. Don't. Oh, I know, goddamn Don Wells told you shit about fucking Summer Wells. I know good damn well. Don't fucking message me again. Don't call me. Don't message me. I'll break you a fucking half, and I don't give a damn.
Beth, thank you so much for becoming a new member, baby.
Don't
You know
message
these
me,
words to
baby.
the queen.
Because I'll run through you and your goddamn law enforcement. I'll run through every one of you motherfuckers. I'll hurt you bad. Don't fucking message me again.
Now, what's interesting, yeah, I do believe that Ernie has a strange crush on Bird, and that probably Blaine Katie is just a beard, right? He would no more touch Katie than he would vegetables. We know his disdain for vegetables, right? He would do nothing with any of you ladies, period. Okay?
It's a fact.
Oh, and when he says run through me and all my law enforcement, I think what he actually means is us to run through him. We'll get to that later.
Don't do it. Don't message me. It's not a threat. Don't message me. Do not fucking message me again. I don't want nothing to do with your sorry ass.
And what'd he do? Nothing. Where'd he go? Nowhere. You know what else is strange? Where are these ladies? Where is Beloved? Where is Slow Terry? Where's Christine Prestia? Blah, 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 blah. Christine Alphabet, we'll call her. We'll call her Lady Alphabet. Where's Lady Alphabet at? Where are these ladies? They're nowhere. You were scared for me. Now, I think undercover is probably to say that Ernie was undercover is, to say that snow is white and rain is wet, right? We all knew that. And I think that's where I start to have a real true appreciation for anyone that has struggled with their sexuality and that has found a platform or I call it a springboard in order to live the freest life they can. That's not to say that as an openly gay man or woman that I'm naive enough to think that there aren't societal pressures or people don't look at you strange, or I'm not here to say, because I believe they do. But I have a greater appreciation for those people that stand on the business and they live their conviction, right? They live their conviction. Okay. That I think it's a beautiful example of empowerment, right? Now, with all of the jest and comedic value about this is going to get into the overcompensation, right? Now, with that, I'm not here to suggest that that people who identify as being in same-sex partnerships can't be law enforcement. That's not what I'm saying at all. Okay? So don't misconstrue that.
Not my buddy. I got a few screenshots of you last night that wasn't too good for you. You know what I'm saying? If you want me to show them to you, I can show them up here publicly. I mean, I don't care to do that. Do I need to do that? You want me to do that? Can I do that? Can I do that? You see, what you don't understand is I really am undercover. I'm undercover. I'm saying that right now. I'm undercover.
I believe you. Well, not anymore, but we all knew you were undercover, And it was like, man, we have paved a way for you. It was a yellow brick road. All you had to do was be honest with you. It's sort of like not it's like, Ernie, do you know how revered you would be even by the women that you had crossed, threatened, and whatever, right? Harassed, all the things. These women you would be revered by again. Tina, Barbara Walters, the whole gamut of them. You could restore to them what they thought you were in the beginning now by just taking accountability, by just saying, you know what? I am gay. Do you know what? I have struggled with addiction. You would be pushed up by your support system, right? And that the face of that very support system would change in a way that now you have a built-in support network of an accountability network, right? If you dip below the surface, they're going to say, hey, Ernie, hold on, wait a minute, buddy. You're doing X, Y, and Z, A, B, and C, and that's not what you're about, right? But because there's no baseline on who you are or what you are about, these ladies would let you do the most disgusting things, but then wander around and mix in with the rest of them, like over at Crime Lines and Lies and whoever else would platform you when they wanted to hear your BS narrative about what you're doing for the church or what you're doing for combating human trafficking. You have never done anything. And that's a fact. You have never done not one of these things. You could not even take accountability for slipping, doing a half gainer, and landing on your neck in front of a courthouse that you're running around state to state. I believe it was county to county with Chris Severe, a man who at least had the accountability to come out and say, hey, I am addicted to pornography. That's what he said. And that he even went on to try to marry his laptop. That's who you're running around with. You do a half back gainer, bust your ass on the ice, and then the next morning you want to kill Uncle Kempy because he shot you down with rubber bullets. Paisley Move, thank you so much for gifting 5 Benny Keys memberships this evening, baby. You know you mean the world to me, lovely. You mean the world. We've known for a long time that you were undercover. We would still revere you because what would come with identifying as your true natural self, which is what we know, even if it's just, are you bisexual? And as an addict, man, now you start to add layers of relevancy and you know, honest, true insight to these things you say you could be or that you say you are, right? It starts to look legitimate. The level of legitimacy shoots through the roof. Okay? Accountability here, as in your personal life, when you take accountability, people will stand in a circle around you and commend you, almost to the point where you're like, wow, do I deserve this? That's one of the things that I deal with, and I speak on it frequently in the rooms, is that every month on the 23rd, I'm going to get another month. Right now I'm at 21 months sober. And sometimes I hold back telling people that. I'll tell you why. Because they say, oh, Benny Keys, great. 21 months sober. No mind or mood altering situations other than what your therapist as a psychiatrist can prescribe you. Nothing. I don't even put expensive cologne on my skin. I spray it on my clothes. You dig? So at a point where you've been doing it for what seems a long time, when you tell people, man, today I got 21 months, I have to remind myself to find myself always in a position where I can accept the reverence that I deserve for doing the work, for remaining accountable, for remaining honest. We're all mad here. Thanks so much for donating 5 more Benny Keys memberships, baby. You know you mean the world to me. Both of y'all times 5, baby. I deal with that guilt. It's like, man, you know what? At what point? And this is my go-to response to that. At what point, Benny Keys, are you not just doing what regular people should be doing? And it was a judge that came down off of his stand the last time I was in front of him, and he hugged me. And he hugged me 2 times prior to that. So 3 times in total. This man came down and hugged me. This man kept me in jail, wouldn't give me a bond, saw me doing the work. And when I was the last time in front of him, he said, you never stop accepting that. Right? It's like it's in the spirit of who are we to not accept a gift from someone, even when we want to be the one to give the gift. We want, it's a selfish act to not allow someone into that space to revere you. Thank you, Markella. Thank you, Bridget. You must allow people to give you that, so that the thing that you feel when you give a gift, you have to allow someone else to feel that as well when they give it to you. So I have to remind myself to find myself in that space where I'm like, you know what? I'm going to celebrate 21 months sober, and I'm going to tell the world, because I deserve for the rest of my life every month to be praised and applauded, because I'm not the same as everyone else. I'm different. Not in a lesser way or a better way, just linearly, I'm adjacent to all of the regular people who never have to deal with addictions in their life. Whether it be in an Al-Anon situation, a husband, a wife, a child, an extended family member, or themselves, never having had to have dealt with addiction. We're getting to a point in society now where to find someone who these pills, these pipes, these bottles, have these needles, they've touched almost every family now. It's kind of like COVID. You remember in the beginning with COVID, it had went around for a while. And I remember saying it online. I was like, you know what? Am I the only one who doesn't know someone, or even know someone who knows someone who has had COVID? And then all of a sudden, guess what? I'm the only person that I know who hasn't had COVID. I have friends like John Crimes who's had it 3 or 4 times. Each time there's a new strain, Big John gets it. I've never had it 1 time. So there's that. So there. Okay. Where we at here? Zena, thank you so much for becoming a member for the 2nd month, baby. You know you mean the world to me, Queen. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Zena. What do we have right here? Michelle, thank you so much. Okay. Hold on 1 second. I need to send an email. And I'm not talking to, this isn't an Ernie, but it's kind of an Ernie Shell deal, but I didn't wait to go live so that I could do an important email. Hold on. Okay. Moving forward. Thank you, Michelle, for your contribution, Queen. It means the world to me. Hey, Kyle. Kyle is a buddy of ours. Kyle is going to be dropping out. It's either a family vlog or a travel vlog. Please, somebody put, oh, Mr. Scott, that's a blessing. Somebody put Kyle's channel link in here and keep you updated as to when his vlog or family vlog or travel vlog, whichever one it was, I forget now, is going to be dropping out.
I've been undercover. I'm EBA. not my buddy. I got
overcompensation. Now, moving forward, this takes a little bit of a different turn here. Okay. Now, I think that the general consensus, kind of what I've seen here and there a little bit that I've been able to look this afternoon, has been that, oh, Ernie's slipped out of it again, right? Ernie's in a state hospital, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Let me tell you what, this state hospital is unlike most. This state hospital is actually, it's connected to a higher source. The power source is not privatized or even, this hospital is run by the Department of Correction, essentially making it a prison. It's a prison for the people who are not stable enough to be with the rest of us, right? Not fit for regular incarceration. Hold on one second. I have to reply again. Let me mute this momentarily because this is going to be an interesting change of events. Just give me a moment. All right. Now, we're kind of actually perfectly halfway with what I have laid out. I do want to offer the link to, hold on. Let's do this a different way here. There. Okay. This is second potentially special guest. Yes, Bridget, it certainly was. Now, this expose here is just sort of a walk through what Bridgewater is and has been. 007 says, based. Only fair they don't let nobody who question or disagree with them survive more than 3 seconds. If you're talking about Ernie's chat, sir, you are absolutely right. Hey, baby. What's up, Miss Noel? Good to see you, baby. Thank you for joining us. Okay.
The Bridgewater State Hospital.
Well, let's pause this for a moment. We have a special guest. Hello, Miss Lisa K.
Hey.
How are you, lovely?
What are we
Not so
watching?
good, huh?
No.
This is an expose on the Bridgewater State Hospital.
Okay.
And
They're actually very concerned about Ernie.
Who
I
is?
mean, they're getting him take out food.
Are they?
They're getting his medical records from New York. Yeah, they sound like they're really worried about him there. I don't think he's going to be mistreated.
No, I don't either. And I think that it's more they have a stain on the history of Bridgewater, and
Yeah.
That's unfortunate, but I think that that's sort of the issue with a number of state-run mental facilities is that
I agree.
You have a real lack of integrity and dignity in the caretakers, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So I don't for a moment, I'm not naive enough to think that this isn't another situation that Ernie has slithered out of. However, this is going to be different than most, right? Because what he's dealing with current moment is only the start of it. He has what I think is going to be a lengthy process, right? Then he's going to have some degree of incarceration. He's made threats to the probation officer, which have all been documented. I'm sure of it. And then you're going to have the post incarceration, right? Which I don't think that it's not going to be a max out situation. I think that he's going to do whatever portion of time he owes the state, which is still 2 years?
No, he only had 2 more months to serve. He should have served out. He wouldn't have had probation. He only had 2 months left.
But the problem with the 2-year probation is that if you violate or are revoked, you now potentially owe the 2 years again.
Yeah,
right?
but he served out the whatever percent of the 1 year he already had. So
Okay.
but they said his PO officer said that, see, they're not going to go get him. They said if Massachusetts wants to bring him there, they'll take him. But
yeah. Well, so I guess that's where there's sort of that, where his legal issues intertwine with his real world personal issues right now. In terms of the internet, I think that if there is still one person around that's going to enable him, such as beloved Ghost, the whole laundry list of women over there, right, who would be okay. My main issue with all of this, Lisa, is the non-disclosure of the HIV, right? I don't care if Ernie is homosexual or bisexual or whatever, asexual. I don't care what Ernie is, but I do believe we have a string of what would actually be victims behind this man that he has not disclosed his HIV status to. And to me, that is uber concerning. Wouldn't you agree?
yes, I don't think he's told any of the women that he stayed with, has he?
Well, allegedly Carolyn, but that's even if when we go back to this right here.
Well, she said that she's being tested because she's afraid. She said they had sex for a minute.
Yeah. Now, being that there's been so much tomfoolery, I'm of the opinion that you almost have to have this place reserved where with those two characters, there's even the opportunity that they never had sex and that this is some sort of stang, right?
Yeah, that could be.
I truly believe that could be a possibility. Now, you had emailed me. I don't know if you wished to speak on the content of the email. If not, it's in the vault and it will never be spoke of. That's up to you.
What?
Amber Robinson, thank you so much for becoming a member, baby. You know it means the world to me.
Wait a minute. No, there's no gun charge, Sherry Weeks. There's no gun charge. There's no gun charge. I don't know why they said that. What did I email you about that you wanted to talk about? You mean just tonight?
I don't want to just say it the email you responded to me.
The one tonight where I said, hey?
Yes. Yeah. And then the body of that. I don't know if that's something, and forgive me if I've already kind of.
Oh, you mean the death threats?
Yes.
Okay.
Where are these, do you think, coming from?
They're coming from Lips and Mark.
Oh.
He just did a whole live on it. I recorded it.
Oh, I thought so. I forgive me. I was told that you did a live. I wasn't entirely sure what the content was about. I just assumed it had something to do with Ernie.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay. So, brother, are you going to pursue legal action over these
Oh,
threats?
definitely.
Are you? Okay.
You'd have to listen to it to know how bad it got over there.
Really?
Oh, they're going to key my car. Lips is going to key my car. Mark is going to pay someone to come and smash up my car. Lips is going to spread rumors throughout the neighborhood hoping that my neighbors will attack me. Lips is driving over here to beat me up. I can't remember everything.
Wow. I'm very
And
sorry.
they all said it on a live. Thank you very much. Mark has a court case pending right now.
Yeah, I know, and that's dang, Renee. So they did it on. Wow. So back to the Ernie stuff. What is your take? Like, where are you at with the whole Ernie thing right now? Like in your mind, like where are you at with some of this stuff?
I want him to get mental health help. Well, like I said, once you clear the drugs and away and treat the mental illness, he's still an immoral person.
Absolutely, without a doubt.
I
Absolutely.
mean, he's still going to be a criminal, a con, scamming people,
Yeah.
screwing people over, even free of the mental illness and the drugs. At its base.
Yeah. Clarification. Thank you so much for becoming a new member, baby. You know it means the world to me. Do you have an opinion on? First of all, let me say this. If ever I thought, and you and I haven't always been on the best of terms. Let's just keep it real.
I thought we had been.
Well,
I always told you how you needed to get it together. You were so smart and well spoken, and you could go places.
I guess I've been on the wrong terms. And let me say.
Oh,
let me say.
I always knew you had this potential. I am so happy to see you doing this.
Lisa, that actually it means a whole lot to me. A whole lot, and I do want to take an opportunity to publicly express an apology to you, because I haven't always been so sweet. Not that I've just outright been really ugly, but just kind of taking jabs here or there. But I do have this newfound Crystal. Thank you for becoming a member for 2 months, baby. You know it means the world to me. I do have this very newfound appreciation for your ability. It's like I had heard things in the past. Well, Lisa did this, or Lisa can do this, but actually to have brought this resolution or this issue to a resolution like it is now, I want to pat you on the back, because
thank you.
Yes, I truly believe. Again, it's what I would term a slippery slope, right? I think that Ernest, a portion of all these threats are to overcompensate for the fact that he's actually a coward, right? That being said, I do believe in the very apparent catatonic state that he was in, walking around with a knife, that Chris could have become the victim of something pretty nasty.
Could be. Ernie he was still catatonic yesterday.
Was he?
He wasn't talking. Yeah.
Yeah. I applaud you because I know that here on the internet, the hate bonding stuff, it just sort of prisms out, right? And it's like, you're going to have the people who know you did the right thing, but because they're enablers of Ernie, or they don't like you, or they don't like the relationship with Lips, take your pick. They're going to have something to say about you making sure Chris stayed safe, right? And I just applaud you on the ability to be so observant and vigilant, and seeing the opportunity with the information on the lotion bottle to really.
No, I didn't use the lotion bottle.
What did you use?
Some other information.
Okay, fair enough.
I couldn't see anything on that bottle. All I saw was Mark. I couldn't make out anything else on there. I think that was Sayla that did that. She used the bottle.
Ah, okay.
And she must be pretty good at clearing pictures up, because I couldn't see anything on there.
So that's even more to my point, was that you still with great, and I spoke about it in a video yesterday, I believe it was. I just, I'm good at certain things, but when it comes to, for instance, if I needed to figure out something about rumor has it, I wouldn't know where to start. It wouldn't even be a mountain. I would lace up shoes to go climb.
You always seemed like you were so good at research.
I am, but that's to a different level. You know, like that is, you know, when it came to identifying landmarks behind Ernie when he's putting himself in jeopardy on the highway, that's one thing. But it may be offline. You can tell me how you did it, because now I'm very intrigued, because I coined what you did. I called it "Don't F with Cats." I know you've seen that, right?
Oh yeah, I did.
The OSync work and the Trace Lab work kind of stuff that went into that was absolutely amazing. They're looking at post-recorded things and they are tracking down a killer, right? And I believe that it was absolutely like you did God's work. Now,
You know, speaking of that, God pushed me out of bed. And that's why I woke up right then.
I believe you, and I can tell you why, because I too woke up for whatever reason, and I had not been sleeping good over the past 6 months, and I was sleeping really well night before last, and I just was stirred. Something stirred me.
Yeah,
I woke up and for whatever reason flipped the phone on, and then there he is going through it.
I know.
It was a very strange. It was phenomenal, right? I was moved by something.
Me too. I'm like, I'm never up in the morning, and it was like, what, 6:30 or something, and I fell out of bed, hit my head on the dresser, woke up, saw a message, Ernie's live and he needs help, and I mean,
do you feel like buried in these catatonic states that he goes into, do you feel like buried inside of that is him screaming for help?
I think it's his schizophrenia exacerbated by the meth, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't know. I could talk about why. I think offline, I would talk to you about why he denies being gay, why I was told that that's such a stigma to him. And it makes a lot of sense.
Did I lose you? Does it?
Yes.
Okay.
It absolutely
now
does, but it involves someone else. And I don't want to.
Okay. No, fair enough. Yeah, we're definitely keep the anonymity and not victimize people that don't have a stake in the YouTube stuff. Now, I guess I have another question, and we'll see kind of where that goes. Did any of the things that you saw in Massachusetts, did that change in any way the way that you feel about any potential involvement Ernie may or may not have had in the Ronnie King case?
I know what you're thinking, and no. Because I know what I think, and no. I know what you and other people have said, that how that changed their mind. And
well, I think that there's just the creeping around with the knife and the complete paranoia and yada yada yada. And I spoke earlier, I don't know if you heard it, but I do believe Ernie back in 2013, 2014, 2012, 2015, I think that he still was enough with it that he could adequately express a different level of criminal sophistication, if that makes sense. Once the dope entered in, he just got sloppy. Everything changed. And
he didn't start taking drugs until after the trial.
Correct. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
So I feel, other than
I see what you're saying. Okay. I see what you're saying. Yep.
Like post Shelby trial, he started to get sloppy, and now he's doing things that are against the law and he's getting caught. Right.
Yeah.
For that, he still had possession of a criminal sophistication that had not rendered him a lot of trouble in the past, right?
Right,
so
right.
I think it wasn't so much the creeping around. Now, just to be candid, have you ever heard, and I know that you've really sung the praises of Shelby having what you believe is a very staunch line of truthfulness and honesty, right?
I absolutely do. Yes.
Has he ever expressed to you any sort of situations sexually with men?
Oh yeah, he said that was one of the 3 things he'd never done.
Okay. Now, is it also a truism that there is forensic information available in the way of fluids that has not been tested in the Ronnie King trial?
No, it has been tested, and it wasn't Shelby's. And the fingerprints weren't Shelby's, and they weren't Kevin Dixon's either.
So are we to believe that these belong to a person that has never been in trouble and never has had any reason to have their DNA?
Apparently, and who do we know that's name's been mentioned that has never been in a situation where their DNA was taken?
Well, I think that
Jimbo, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, I think Jimbo is one of them. He's never had any. Yeah, yep. Jimbo's never had any felony issues.
No.
But up to that point, I mean, has Ernie even been candid about the fact that before they released him from jail, they took DNA or any of that jazz?
That was on the paperwork. Yeah, they did take his DNA.
Okay, and I mean, at this point,
well, they're not testing anything. They consider that case closed, so they're not pursuing anything at this point.
Which is so strange because with the charge of complicity, it maybe it's the lowest form of murder charge they could give him, but it definitely suggests that there was another culprit or culprits involved, right?
Well, have you seen the crime scene photos? There was definitely more than one person that did that.
I've seen one. And
it was staged. Furniture was moved to different rooms. Yeah, it was all. The scene was all staged.
Just the scorched room with the tiger.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. I posted that. Yeah, with the tiger.
Yep. Other than that, I've seen nothing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have those. We can look at them, or I can do them in a live or something. I don't know. Yeah, it was just elaborately staged, but why would you do all that if you were going to set it on fire? Okay, now some of the things with Ernie, Shelby doesn't think Ernie did it, and he said even if he knew he did it, he wouldn't rat on him. That's the kind of person Shelby is. But he doesn't.
Also to make everyone aware that if the DNA that was tested didn't come back to Shelby specifically, it would show that the person it would show that whomever did it, if it were Ernie, were related to that donor, correct?
But I think that would only be if they did some genetic genealogy and they didn't have Ernie's DNA, right? So
gotcha.
I know what you're saying, but I don't think they did the maternal DNA. I don't know, but that was quite a while ago.
Okay.
I can't say.
Do you have any
but
other questions?
I honestly don't think Ernie has the balls to do that. He said he told his family he was the getaway driver in Jimbo's house fire. So see, he doesn't actually do things.
Right.
I think he's the cleanup man. Remember, he said he didn't go back, but then he was talking about setting the blinds on fire and how there was a fingerprint baked into the blinds when it got set on fire. Well, obviously there wasn't a fingerprint, but why is there any? Did you see him where he was acting out, Ronnie?
I sent you the link, Nikki.
What?
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Lisa. You got it.
He was acting out, and I played that you did that. I think that was one of your videos where he was saying, Shelby offered to give Ronnie a blowjob. That's bullshit. And how Ronnie pulled his pants down and laid down on the bed, and he said he put his hands behind his head like this. Ernie acted it out. Now, how would he know that?
I don't know. That's why I think with all that I know and some of the things that I don't know I know or have forgotten, that it starts to sort of bring Ernie to the forefront in my mind, right?
Well,
That and the
yeah.
complicity stuff. Now, I've spoken before that there's just some things, like the jewelry or the old pennies. There's like some things that tie, and unfortunately, Lisa, a confession, right? Even if it's a false confession, confession still ties you to it in a way that it's dangerous, because if you false confess and they can't prove it's a false confession, well, now you're locked in. Right. So I don't believe, I don't know that I've been convinced that Shelby didn't do it. And I think the thing that keeps me cemented there is the fact that he confessed, right? There's a confession to some degree.
Well, he didn't really confess. I mean, he didn't, that was supposed to be a joke. Okay, now and I have a receipt for this, when Jimbo on the recording, when Jimbo called Shelby, he said, "Oh yeah, you just woke me up." But Jimbo was the one that called Shelby. Shelby didn't call Jimbo. So I have the Celebrate records, and Jimbo had called Shelby 4 or 5 times, like within the half an hour before that call, to feed him the information. Well, how did Jimbo know the information to tell it to Shelby? That's what I want to know.
He'd either have to been there or got a firsthand account of someone who was there. Sorry, Nick, I had my page minimized and it had you pushed down. I couldn't even see you. So,
oh no, I thought maybe you sent it to me by accident. So
no,
I came up when Lisa did, and I was like, "Oh crap!" So I laughed. But Lisa, I have a lot of respect for you. I do.
I'm feeling like I'm going to throw up.
No. I think you have blinders on about a lot of things. So I do want to mention Kevin Dixon, which Asia just mentioned. That's where I was going to segue in here. If you watch the trial, which you stated you've watched the whole thing, when Ronnie's sister was on the stand, and she even did an interview on YouTube, every Sunday night she talked to Ronnie on the phone. That was a thing. Are you aware of that?
Yeah.
Okay. What did his sister say about that phone conversation?
She said that he said Kevin Dixon's here.
Yeah. Now, what was the date of that murder?
Well, I can't remember. I'd have to look.
February what of 2013? What day of the week was it?
I don't know.
Does anybody recall? Was it February 13th?
I do not know, and I won't.
Did you hear me talk about Kevin Dixon on my live?
So no, I need you to listen. So if you go back and you look at the weather for the area, the town that Ronnie resided in, it was, if I recall correctly, it's been a couple of years since I've done this. It was February 13th. Thank you. It was Sunday, wasn't it? It was Saturday? Okay. The weather in Kentucky was, I think, between 10 and 15 degrees, okay? And for some reason, when you look at the pictures of the murder scene, his windows were all open, like around that door, which doesn't make sense, even if you're maybe a bigger person like Ronnie was. We know that Kevin Dixon had a serious drug addiction, and he told his sister, "I have to go. Kevin Dixon is here."
Yeah.
Not Shelby Shell. Now Shelby Shell and Kevin Dixon look nothing alike, right?
Right, and he could see who was there.
Okay. She said Kevin Dixon, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he just cracked open probably a soda Benny
Oh
doesn't
yeah,
drink. Benny doesn't drink alcohol. Wings.
no, Dr. Pepper wings.
Yeah. And his fingerprints, yes, Flossie, were absolutely on the safe. Now,
No, those
let's
weren't
talk.
Kevin's. Those weren't Kevin's fingerprints. I have the
Whose
report on
whose
it.
fingerprints were they, Lisa?
They didn't. It was inconclusive, but they were ruled out as Kevin's. I have that report.
Could you show that?
Sure.
Okay. So, what happened a month before this murder?
I don't know what you're getting at. I'm sure a lot of things did.
Jimbo tried to burn his mother's house down.
Jimbo, oddly enough, filed bankruptcy right about then too. He needed some money.
Stop. Nothing to do with bankruptcy. Jimbo tried to burn his mother's house down. Not one time, but 2 times.
Yeah, Mary was the getaway driver.
And how did you get that information? I sent it to Lips to send to you. And State Farm.
No, she didn't. She didn't
Nope,
send
that's
me
not
anything.
true. That's not true. I have the receipts. But anyways, I'm not going to argue with you because you are so stubborn that even when you're wrong, you will not admit that you are wrong.
What are we
I
arguing
want,
about?
well, I want you to just listen. Jimbo tried to set his mother's house on fire 2 different times. Both times failed. State Farm investigated and they determined that it was fraud, and they assumed it was Jimbo that
Yes.
caused that fire
Yeah, I've
Yep.
seen
for
it.
an insurance payout. Okay, hold on. After Ronnie King was murdered and raped, because he was raped, and we know Ernie is undercover homo. He was raped. They went back after and they tried to set it on fire, and
Yep.
it didn't take, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when Asia was in the chat talking about Jimbo being a fire starter, and then suddenly Shelby and his girlfriend had to meet up with Thelma and Jimbo in the middle of the night for Shelby's girlfriend for makeup because Shelby beat her up. Then suddenly you've got this whole Shelby Shell came into our house to help us move, and my gun just mysteriously disappeared. And then it was determined that that gun was unfireable, right?
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Because Jimbo was trying to set Shelby up to take the fall. Now, I
Oh yeah.
am not convinced that Shelby was there. I'm not convinced that Shelby is guilty. What I am sure of is that Jimbo and Thelma had a history of scamming, pills. They even set up was it a strong-armed robbery, Benny, that at that gas station
Yeah.
when they
It
were both
was,
working there?
yep. At a Subway.
Oh, he's done more than that.
No, I know this, but I'm just
Yeah.
reiterating.
No. Yeah.
Now, that doesn't mean she didn't go after the murder. I don't know. But what I do know is the photo that they did capture from the CCTV from the funeral home, they said it was Shelby. Now, my untrained eyes, which I find myself to be way more intelligent than any of the investigators in that county, because if you've seen the trial, these people were idiots, right?
Yeah.
Now,
They didn't
it
even
looked,
collect all the evidence.
but hold on, it looked kind of like it could be Shelby, but the footprints were Ernie's shoe size.
And didn't Lucinda say that when she saw
Yes.
the image, she said, that looks like Ernie to me?
So, and Ernie's sister said it was definitely Ernie. And Ernie himself said that.
Hold on. We can't trust any of Ernie's siblings for any reason whatsoever, not then and not now. Those women will lie no matter the cost. So you got to stop depending on them for anything. They are not truthful under any circumstances. They would double cross their own kin to save another one of their kin. It's weird. But what I'm trying to say to you is
They'll lie for him and on him. I mean,
yes. So the footprints that they found were a size 8. There's no way Shelby, at almost 6 feet tall, is wearing a size 8 shoe. But we know Ernie, at 5'5.5" tall, would have a size 8 shoe, because that would be commensurate with his height, right?
Okay, Ernie said that that person had cut off jeans. Who do we know that would need cut off
It
jeans?
doesn't, I'm not
Ernie.
believing anything Ernie says. It doesn't matter. It does not matter what Ernie says. The shoe size at the scene was a
I know.
size 8.
I know.
Kevin Dixon wasn't wearing a size 8. Shelby wasn't wearing a size 8. So I'm not denying, but I think Shelby was part of it. I think Shelby was part of the theft and getting rid of, they thought that Ronnie King had all this money, but it makes sense that Ernie was there and Jimbo was there. You,
Now,
on the other hand,
can I throw a dash in real quick, Nick? Because I'm getting a text from someone we both know who is very, very knowledgeable. She said that she remembers, who was it that did the interview with Kevin Dixon? Was it Rap or was
Rap.
it Brad Enlow? Rap.
Yep,
It was Rap.
Rap.
Didn't Kevin Dixon say on his live stream with Rap that his fingerprints were in fact on that safe?
yes.
I have
He
the
did.
Sure
report.
did.
I have the report.
It doesn't, listen, I don't care what the report says, Lisa, because
Kevin
their
said his
investigators are retarded. You've seen the evidence that they procured. You've seen it, what they produced in the trial. That was terrible. Like, I couldn't believe that was even allowed to stand. Kevin Dixon admitted on Raps that it was his fingerprints. And
Now,
he
I
had an
understand-
excuse for it. He had an excuse for it. He said that his fingerprints would have been on it because of a different time point that he was at Ronnie King's.
Well, he said he helped carry the safe in.
Right. And so I get both of your points. Lisa's point is that if it's not on the report, that's not what the court would have seen. However,
I need Lisa to understand that police are not perfect, just like doctors aren't.
That's what I'm
perfect,
saying.
right?
I know
To
that. I've
your-
been saying that forever.
right, to Nick's
But you won't
point,
accept anything.
Yes.
oh, where'd she go?
Did she
I don't know if
drop
she lost
herself?
connection or.
She does not like any
Maybe she
pushback for any reason.
Oh, there she is right there.
All right, good.
I don't know what happened. Miss Lisa.
I got the phone up to my ear, and I think my cheek hit it and disconnected because the sound is so faint. I can't hardly hear you guys.
But what I'm trying to say
All right, can I say something?
let me finish my thought. Police, especially in that area, you're echoing.
I'm trying to fix it.
You
Go ahead.
They are terrible. Kevin Dixon's own mouth said his fingerprints were on that safe, and he gave a reason. It was to cover his ass, but he was trying to say that happened before the murder.
However, because of what probably was shoddy investigative work, if they already had a focus on someone, I believe that those country
not
detectives
looking
would put
elsewhere.
anything in the reports, right? They would say, yeah, no, Kevin Dixon's fingerprints weren't on it. However, Kevin would have no reason to come online and lie and say, yeah, no, my fingerprints were on there, because it doesn't look good either way when you say it. There's no way to make it look good when you say, oh, well, my fingerprints were there, but it's only because I carried the safe in or whatever.
But what if Kevin didn't know that the report came back that it wasn't his fingerprints? What
This
if he
was
knew that he
years
had carried that
after.
safe in and his fingerprints were on the safe? So he gave an explanation to make an
Listen,
excuse for it. He didn't have the
Dix-
report. He didn't know what it said.
Dixon is just like Josh Shanks. They're opportunistic, abusive.
Funny, you should mention
addicts.
Josh Shanks, and that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, Mom, I didn't know that.
What did your mom say?
She said, by the way, Kevin Dixon recently married on the 7th. Congrats to Kevin and his wife, LOL.
Oh, and
She
Kevin
does think
Dixon is
he's-
still friends with Jimbo. He tags him in his posts.
Okay, so let me continue with my hypothesis that was formulated well before you came on to the scene. Isn't it interesting that Ernie and Jimbo were able to elicit a confession from Shelby as they said it was just a joke. They were going to play a joke, and so that's what Shelby says, right? I believe Shelby, because Shelby, what was his IQ? Like a 64?
I think it was 74.
Yeah, that's low. And it was low enough that they could not give him the death penalty because of how low his IQ is. And they have rules about that. Jimbo got him to confess, and it was supposed to be a quote unquote joke.
Carlos, just don't spam, bro. You can advertise, just don't spam, please. Go ahead.
Oh, he's gonna spam.
Well,
And
the makeup thing was a joke, too.
And Shelby being slow and wanting to be liked and be part of this, his brother and Jimbo, because he was just freshly out of prison, thought he was doing a good thing. So I truly think that Jimbo and Ernie set Shelby up. I'm not going to deny that, but I'm also not going to assume that maybe Shelby played a part post-murder in some way, shape, or I don't know. None of it makes sense. It was shoddy work, but Lisa, you continue. No matter what it is, you believe his siblings, they are liars. And you need to not be involved with the state mental hospital where he is and trying to get him out of his consequences.
I'm not trying to do that. I've never been.
Then how do you know all of this stuff about the hospital and Ernie? Why are you calling up there?
I'm not calling up there. I don't do that. I'm not calling. Why would
did
they
that?
give me any information anyway?
So who's giving you the information?
Well, I'm not going to say that.
His sister.
I'm not going to say that.
Yeah, all of his sisters are trash bags. Melissa, Angela, and Angelia, all trash, all lying. Oh, and Amber.
And the other ones?
I think that you are so honed in on things that don't matter. That trial, in the eyes of the average American citizen that watched it, knows it was the shoddiest criminal trial that, had this been on a national platform, there would be public outrage.
I would agree with that. I truly would. I mean, I think that you also have the state who has a bone to pick when the first trial goes hung.
And they have to solve it.
Yeah, they have
to solve it. Yeah.
And he's a civic leader to some degree, even no matter his sexuality, which, I think
Nobody cares about that.
nobody does, but in the court, they certainly.
Well, they might there in Eastern Kentucky. They might still have a lot of homophobia there.
I agree. And I think that they really came in extra gassed up to at least close the case and put a conviction on the books, even with a charge, a conviction
Conspiracy.
of complicity. Yeah.
Conspiracy, or what was
Complicity
what was
to
it called?
murder.
Yeah. That means that it's not a solved murder because we don't actually have the perpetrator. And
Or all of them.
yeah, and the DNA, they can't take Kevin's DNA unless he's charged with the felony.
Or he
Or
agrees to donate
Yep.
it. Yeah.
Or he's been charged post-conviction of a
Registered.
felony that warrants taking DNA. So we don't know whose DNA was in Ronnie's rectum. And I'm not saying that to be disgusting. Somebody raped that man. They robbed him, they raped him, they murdered him.
How do you know he was raped?
What?
How do you
I mean,
know
I
he was
suppose
raped?
it could have been. I
There
guess
was
it's
lube
that's
up there, but there was lube up there, but there.
No, it was in the documents that there was it was unknown DNA. You have all of it, Lisa.
I do have all of it.
Yeah.
And I just saw that there was lube up there, but nothing about DNA on what I have. But Ernie's a bottom.
You're right.
So I don't think he did that. I think it was someone else.
So
You think that was Ernie?
I don't know. I didn't know Ernie in 2013. A lot changes. In 2013, Ernie was younger, a lot more testosterone coursing through his veins. He was not maybe not impotent during. I don't know, but I'm saying he was sexually assaulted. It was mentioned.
I
Well,
just
I
got.
got to find where two of Ernie's old girlfriends said he couldn't get it up. So I got to look for that, find that.
I know that Carolyn said that he did. He threw her against the wall, and then she made a.
You can't
a
believe
comment.
anything Carolyn says.
No, but then she
You really
did
can't.
make a comment subsequent to that he lasted 2 minutes and then it was over with.
Yeah, and she said he had a trouble getting it up too. I think
I
without
did
his
have-
penis pump.
I do have an email here that is a screenshot of an email, and I'm not going to say the guy's name. I'm sure if you know, you know.
Fine.
It is the chief of Medway. It's the chief.
Kingsbury.
And there is a claim that in this email that Kentucky does want Ernie, and that make no mistake, Mass will transport back to KY. Our budget is 10 times of Kentucky's. So take that for what it's worth.
Will you screenshot that and redact? I'd like to
Yeah.
see it because I had
Sure.
emailed Chief Kingsbury yesterday for the body cams and was informed that they do not have body cams, and I'm not interested in the 911 call Lisa made. I don't care about any of that. But yes, you can. So in any power, when you think about sex, there's sometimes a power exchange. So you can be a bottom and you can switch to being a top. You don't always, just because you're a bottom now doesn't mean you were always a bottom. But
No,
Ernie is on serious medications for his HIV. We have heard Ernie I don't know about any of y'all, but we have also heard that he has to have testosterone. When a man gets to Ernie's age, and not all men, there is a decrease in testosterone. It's kind of like women going through menopause, and
I take testosterone injections once a week.
yeah.
Yeah.
So Ernie has been talking about testosterone injections for at least 2 years.
It's very
When
expensive
Ernie-
though.
But if you don't have insurance and you aren't going to your doctor, it is either weekly or a monthly injection. We used to give
No,
they're
Viper. You
considered-
can take a
they're
pill or a gel.
yes, injectable is better though.
That's what I take.
Versus the tablets. We would get patients that had hereditary spirocytosis that would also have an issue, the males would have an issue with testosterone. And once they hit 18 and that testosterone level hit a certain level, which they considered low, they would come in every month and I would give them an injection of testosterone. Ernie is not compliant. Ernie travels, so he's not, it's going to be very hard to find a doctor because it requires a prior authorization, even if he has Medicaid.
Correct.
So
I use a company called Hone, Hone, and you do an initial lab. They get all of your free testosterone, all the testosterone, liver enzymes, all that stuff. Then you'll have a consultation and they'll ask you, what are you trying to achieve? What is your issue? And then they will prescribe accordingly. So I take 50 mLs every week, 200 a month, self-injectable. But this is the thing. Most of all those companies, they have what's called a club fee. The club fee, the membership fee is $150 a month. And then the medicine itself is $58.
yeah, but but Ernie's not doing any of that. That requires you to be consistent, have money.
He's not taking testosterone.
Yeah, he's not taking it right now. When he is not, so if he's not getting that testosterone, he's going to be impotent. If it's an impotency problem as well. So of course he can't be the top. He's going to be the bottom, but that doesn't mean he wasn't the top 13 years ago when his testosterone was at a normal level.
Well, Sleuthhound said he wasn't raped.
You're not blocked, crybaby.
Who said he wasn't raped?
Sleuthhound. She just said that in chat.
I don't know who she is.
Yeah, neither do I. And I've
I
been
do.
there. I've been here way longer than you have, Lisa.
I only have 2 blocked, crybaby.
Sleuthhound's been there since the beginning.
they
She's the PI, and she has all the documents.
I did block Vegas Barbie. She was being nasty in chat.
Oh, she's not even on here.
I did. I blocked her and said you could unblock her later. She's here for Mark to start shit.
Okay.
Maybe somebody unblocked her after I did, but China said he performed. Okay, well, that was 3 years ago. That could have happened.
Could have.
So
go ahead.
do you believe Shelby is 100% innocent and played no part?
Of Ronnie King?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Why did he plead guilty? Do you know?
Yeah, because they were going to give him 50 years on the kidnapping charge if he didn't plead guilty.
Yeah, but he was already pretty much let go because of a hung jury because Ernie lied so much on the stand.
Yeah, but they were going to recharge him with that and then charge him and give him 50 years for the kidnapping.
Yeah, but if you're not guilty, why would you plead guilty?
People do that all the time. Constantly.
No, I do not agree with that. I have never pled guilty for something I wasn't guilty of doing.
I know people that have. Wouldn't you take 20 years over 50?
I'm going to tell you that, my situation is different, but I was essentially leveraged into a plea deal.
And
Yeah,
that makes
that's what
sense,
they
but
do.
I don't think they leveraged. I mean, how many years did he get? 20.
20 instead of 50.
I wouldn't be pleading to take 20.
That's called a trial penalty. It's a real thing.
So, can you tell me a little bit about your legal background? Do you have any degrees in this?
I have a paralegal degree.
Is that a certificate?
Yeah.
And did you work for a defense attorney?
No.
What kind of an attorney did you work for?
I just did freelance stuff.
You did what?
Freelance stuff.
I'm not pleading to anything. If there's anything over 90 days, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, but people do.
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Nope. I'd risk it and go to trial. That's me, though. That's me.
Right.
I told him he should have. If he would have, I'm sure he would have gotten off again. If he would have had a decent lawyer, he would have gotten it. They have no
agree.
evidence that he was ever even there.
I don't disagree with you, Lisa. My problem is that you believe wholeheartedly everything his sisters tell you.
That none of that came from his sisters. I have the lab reports and the documents and the Cellbrite.
Why
And,
don't you we've all had access to that.
Yep. So why aren't you talking about Jimbo calling Shelby
Oh, honey, you weren't
5
around.
times before the joke?
Honey, I have been here for over 4 years.
I know you have.
I've covered Jimbo's. I've covered State Farm. I've covered Ernie. I've covered Shelby Shell. Like, I've been here, but you are in so deep that you have blinders on that it doesn't matter. You will
I don't
not.
think, you have very strong opinions too, Nicolina.
I have strong opinions, but I'm not stubborn in my opinions. I'm
Well,
always open to listen to new ideas, new information.
Okay, well,
I
can you listen to me about Kevin Dixon?
absolutely. I'll be quiet.
So if he was coming there and Ronnie knew he was coming there, they had talked on the phone and set up a meeting, correct?
Wait, rephrase that. What was that?
Ronnie said that he was expecting Kevin Dixon, so he had to have talked to Kevin Dixon on the phone to set up that meeting, right?
I've never heard anything about Ronnie expecting Kevin Dixon. What I heard his sister testify to is that she was on the phone with Ronnie King, and Ronnie said, "I have to go, Kevin's here," and she heard a male voice in the background. That's what Kevin Dixon is here. That is what his sister testified to.
Okay, but Kevin said he was in Ohio working in the coal mines that day, and it couldn't have been him. But yet the next day, he said he was pulled in for questioning in Kentucky. His timeline doesn't add up where he said he was and when.
Kevin Dixon was there, absolutely was there.
I think so,
it was
too.
a group. I think Kevin Dixon was absolutely part of this murder. And they all conspired to make Shelby take the fall.
Well, Ernie gave him a bag of wheat pennies that he got at the flea market. So Ernie was involved in setting him up way before the murder, right?
I believe that they used Shelby as the fall guy because they were all involved. But I think that Shelby was there after the murder, when they went back to try to light the house on fire to cover their crimes.
What makes you think that? How did you think he got there?
Well, Jimbo had a so Jimbo's always thinking about 25 steps ahead on how to cover his ass. And Jimbo mentioned meeting up. Jimbo mentioned him and Thelma met up with Shelby and Shelby's girlfriend because she needed makeup because Shelby allegedly beat her up.
Yeah, that was another joke.
I believe, if I'm wrong on the dates, but I believe that they called Shelby to the area so that they could indict that he was there at the scene of the crime. Because they were going to set him up.
Oh, yeah, well,
I think you should get Mags up here. I think you should. Because she knows this community.
Jimbo sold the gun to Laura so that it would be at Shelby's. But yet that gun didn't even work. So why bother to do that?
I thought that Shelby stole it out of Jimbo's top dresser drawer when they were moving.
Jimbo sold it to Laura. He said she needed it for protection. Laura bought it. She said that in her deposition.
I don't know who Laura is. I would love
Shelby.
Margaret to come up. Margaret knows way more.
I don't know if she answered yet.
Nope, she doesn't want to. She said, "I'll stay in the chat." Thanks, though, Benny.
Oh, yeah, no, fair enough.
All right.
Well, I think that we've definitely reached an impasse for this conversation. Do either of you have? I asked Lisa before you came up, and I I can't recall because there's been such a wealth of information, Nick. Let me ask you first, Nick, and then Lisa. How, if any, the last 3 streams from Massachusetts, how has that changed your view of anything Ernie show? If it has or hasn't? Nick?
Oh, me first?
Yeah.
Nothing has changed for me. Oh, I love you. I feel like it just answered questions that Ernie denied for years. I knew he was in the closet. Yes. I know that he uses drugs. I know that he has PTSD, I believe is based in childhood sexual trauma. Ernie leads a double life. What I would like is for Beloved Ghost, Tiger Lori, Christine Prestigiacomo, Slow Terry, all of those women to
Maggie
see it for what
Matz.
it is. I want that's my biggest thing. That's the only thing that's changed for me. Ernie deserves zero compassion. He has left a wake of victims throughout his entire life. We have seen it full scale for 4 years. And that's it. That's all for me. Nothing's changed. I still think he's not redeemable. Ernie's never going to change because Ernie's a psychopath. Hey, Melton John.
Oh, Melton, good to see you, buddy. Lisa, same question for you.
Oh, no, it doesn't change. I mean, there wasn't anything there that we didn't know. You know, his drug use, his, sexual activities, his psychosis. I didn't really see anything that we didn't already know. Did you?
Do you feel like, for some reason, I get this feeling that whatever he was doing with the knife, it sort of set a different tone for me. It gave off a vibe that was a lot different than anything that we have really seen before. But I feel like it was, it's sort of a chameleon situation where we're seeing everything we've seen before, but there's this new added detail of the knife. Now, what's interesting to me about the knife is I believe Ernie is fully cognizant when he's doing these things because he has the wherewithal to go through the steps. So if we imagine really quick, what you have to do in a catatonic state is you've got to hit the YouTube button, right? Then you've got to be able to hit the little plus button. Then you've got to be able to scroll over here and hit the live button, right? Then you've got to be cognizant enough to put a title in it and then hit the go button. That's too many steps for someone to do, in my opinion, that is completely catatonic. There's something more going on. And I kind of touched on it before. I asked if we thought that somewhere concealed in these catatonic states, if there was actually like a cry for help. I don't know what it is that's actually going on, but I know that whatever it isn't or is, it's progressed.
He's paranoid around people, and he records that so that there's a record of it.
Only when he's doing gay shit, Lisa.
I know.
Years of that.
But like when he was on the bus, he was recording the people. When he was in the van in the back seat with the people.
That was sick, and that was all a joke too. That's what made it sick.
Flossie, can you comment really quick? I don't know. It just takes on a new tone for me when he's creeping around with the knife. It's like the next step, right? And I believe, again, I applaud you, Lisa, for doing what you've done, because if he was allowed to slip away, we don't know what the next, I call it catatonia. I don't know what the next catatonic episode is going to bring, but it's certainly sliding downhill to someone getting hurt. And that's
he has never in all of the years of Facebook highway runs and YouTube highway runs ever had a weapon.
Well, if you remember the one time where he was in Georgia, the first one we saw, the Help Me Facebook, he actually told the dispatcher that someone put a knife under his car.
Well, he's always got that knife on his belt, always.
But no. But he didn't have it out.
Right.
That's the first time that he's ever had an open knife, like opened it, and you know what I mean?
It's progressed, wouldn't you say, in your opinion?
Yeah.
It's
absolutely.
Progressed. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I think that if this behavior is allowed to continue even after he's released or what, so sort of my issue is that with what Ernie's done in exposing who Chris is, everything is fair game once it's exposed. I get that. But I kind of fear for Chris a little bit, because if Ernie, let's say in a perfect world, Ernie isn't extradited and they just cut him loose from Bridgewater, is Chris going to become a target? Because now you have all of Ernie's drawer of shame exposed to the internet. Is Chris going to be the vent valve?
I mean, normally when it comes to Ernie, if he's not in that state of mind, I think Chris is fine. However, with the caveat of everything that has been exposed, I don't know. I don't have an answer to that.
It makes you think, though, right?
It does.
Yeah.
I didn't think of it. I didn't think about that until you posed the question on it.
And it's Ernie who exposed the man, right? I mean, Selah was on the lotion bottle. Lisa was working another angle. And we just, as satire news, we just covered what was coverable. If Ernie would have been in a different scenario or a different state of mind, we would not know who Chris is. But you start to wonder, what are the true parallels right now? I guess that's another reason why I'm drug into the parallel, and not to reopen the Ronnie King topic, but was there some dialogue? Let's say hypothetically Ernie was involved with Ronnie King in some degree. Was there a dialogue about exposing Ernie or whatever the case may be? But then that takes me back to a comment or a live stream I heard with my own ears and watched. Jankies saying that Ernie is known on the ground in that area as bisexual, and that he had even had an oral encounter with a man in her house where he performed oral on another man in Janky's house. Now, take it or leave it, whatever it's worth.
I never heard that. Holy cow.
Oh, yeah. Janky's.
I think that came out on Brad's. I think she said that on Brad's.
By the way, Brad called me 3 times today, Lisa, with Shelby Shell on a 3-way call, and they left me a voicemail. I was at my grandson's first birthday party. It absolutely was Shelby and Brad Enlow that called me today. Do you want to hear it?
Yeah.
All right. Is that okay, Benny?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
All right. I'm going to take my AirPods out. Hold on. So this was at 2:30, and it was baby Levi's birthday party today. So I'm going to play.
Good to see you. Good to see you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Oh, your voice.
Go ahead, Avian.
Sorry. All right.
This is Shelby Shell. I'm calling from Preston. Yeah, I was checking on my brother. I heard he got locked up. You think he'll come see me one day soon now? Call me back, by God. Or pick up when I come back.
That was both Brad's voices, weren't
I didn't hear Shelby.
Hold on. Listen. Hold on. It's two different people.
Yeah, this is Shelby Shell. I'm calling from prison.
That's Brad.
Yeah, I was checking on my brother. I heard he got locked up. You think he'll come see me one day soon now?
That's the Tyrone. That's the Tyrone voice.
Yep, Tyrone Davies.
That's Tyrone Davies.
So there's not, you don't hear the second person?
Yo, yeah, it's Brad.
Yeah, there's Brad in both voices.
That's both Brad.
Oh my God, why does it sound like Shelby? Hold on.
It doesn't. That's Brad's Tyrone Davies voice.
Yep. The Mr. S. That's Mr. STD.
Checking on my brother. I heard he got locked up.
That's
Oh
Brad.
my
That's
God, that was Brad?
yes.
So he was pretending to be Shelby?
Yeah, Shelby ain't gonna talk to Brad. Trust me.
What a dickhead. See, he took advantage of my fucking hearing retardation because I heard two different voices.
Yeah, he does. He uses that Tyrone Davies. He has a mask he wears and everything.
Dickhead. Now I look like a complete
filter.
fool. I am so sorry.
No, it's okay. It's all right.
Oh my God. I thought one was Shelby and one was Brad.
No, they're both Brad.
Yeah, both Brad.
Brad, you're a dickhead.
Well, you didn't know
He
that?
called me yesterday. No, I don't listen to Brad. Brad called me yesterday and he wanted to apologize and make amends with me, and he called me from an unknown number, and I was like, yeah, I don't have any real problems with you. Like, you're a retard, dude. That's my only issue. But yeah, we're cool. That sounded like two different people to me. I got trolled.
He uses that for
Not troll,
some of his
baby.
prank phone calls.
He trolled you.
Yeah.
Crybaby, Truth Seeker Horror, if you have the kind of hearing impairment that I have, that to me, I can't differentiate. You guys, I do miss a lot, and I tell you that because I'm hearing retarded. I'm sorry. Brad got me.
We ain't mad at you.
Got
at all,
me.
baby.
Now I feel stupid as shit.
Don't feel stupid. You have a disability.
Nicolina got trolled.
It's called being handsome.
Oh, shit.
Hey, Mr. AC.
Shit.
Anyways, anybody else? I mean, do we have any? You ladies, either of you have any comments, questions, concerns, burning desires, anything you want to get off your chest? Before,
Okay.
I feel like
I do. I gotta
Okay.
say this. I do not watch Brad, so that is you're right. That's kind of an excuse. But this live stream, Benny has almost 750 in chat. He's got a chat that's moving fast as fuck. This brings me back to the good old days of live streams.
This is what it's supposed to look like when you're not buying views.
No, this is good. No, this is. I was really excited when I popped in. I went up on Gypsy's panel. We were talking politics for a little bit. I came in and I was like, "Ooh, this is a BK stream."
Yeah, baby. And I do want to, in my closing commentary, I still want the best for Ernie, but I again, like I said the other day, it truly tests my spirituality and my Christianity when there's all of these things that Ernie, like non-disclosure, the threats to women, men, children, but mostly women and children, the threats on people's livelihoods, the threats on people's freedom. It's really hard to still, and I'm not going to lie, I'm struggling right now with still wanting the best for Ernie. And that's where I have to ask, for my own forgiveness, because I may have 5 minutes where I'm like, you know what, they can put him under the jail. I don't care. But
I do not feel that way.
I do.
I am proud of you, Benny. I want to see Ernie put in prison. And he just threatened to put lead in my head 3 weeks ago. So
That
I have
is one-
zero pity or empathy for him. I used to. That's
Right.
gone.
and rightfully so. And I know that he has threatened and done the worst for Lisa.
Yep.
And, you know, I've answered comments of Lisa's that she was like, I still want the best for him. And in times like this, I feel really bad for him and his family and yada, yada, yada. And I agree. And I guess my point is that I sort of right now I'm teetering between Lisa and Nikki's ideology, right? Like he's done the most to me, CPS, threats, you know, messing with my mom, messing with, you know, everything, my kids. And it's been a test, right? To still want the best for Ernie, even though he's done all of these despicable things, right? Michelle, thank you so much for your contribution, Queen. You know, it means the world to me. Thank you so much.
Do you know, I don't know if you were around, but I mean, he's harassed my elderly mother.
Mhm.
He called my brother's sheriff's department. Fuck my job. I'll take any of the consequences of my actions for what I do here. But going out and trying to get my brother fucked with as a sheriff's deputy,
Yeah.
I'm not okay with that. Ernie has nothing to lose, hence why Ernie does the most. You know what I mean?
Yep. I do.
So Lisa, that was one thing. I do need to say this. Ernie was sentenced under a plea agreement for a felony that he faced close to up to 10 years in prison. Now, I don't know much about Kentucky, but you know Michigan, and I know you live closer to a sanctuary city than I do. But when you are sentenced under a plea agreement in this area,
Or you could get the whole load back.
and you F that up and you abscond, our circuit court judge, the Honorable Matthew Stewart, he sentences you to the full amount that you were looking at serving prior to the plea agreement.
You could do 1 day short of your whole probationary sentence. You screw that up, and that gives the judge consent to give you the max if he wants to.
Yeah.
Well, you know, when Don Wells got arrested and he just served another 9 months, even though he had
Who?
2 years.
He was sentenced to 11 months and 29 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Delete Clay right now, guys. Delete that. Delete that. That's fucking Carlos.
So that's kind of, you know, I don't know. I'm teetering between that. Now, I can tell you that, you know, I've found myself, I've found myself the best that I have in life during times being in jail. And so because I know that, you know, with seclusion comes great peace and, you know, all of the things that you can do to rebuild your own mind, that I wouldn't wish it on him unjustly, right? But more as a rehabilitative time, like Ernie. And this is the deal, because Ernie doesn't pose a threat to, I don't even feel like Ernie poses a threat to women. He just wants to appear. I mean, I feel like he has the true quintessential heart of a coward.
Yep.
And so I think that what will end up happening is that if he continues on for one day or 30 years, someone is going to hurt Ernie with great prejudice, right?
I hope they go live with it. Well, and that's not very Jesus-like, but I'm not Jesus. But I will tell you this. I think even if Ernie has to do a minimum of 1 year, he's going to come out, be very arrogant, and he's not going to have learned his lesson. Benny, you were humbled.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I've been humbled. I've been humbled in life, right?
Mhm.
I don't think Ernie has the ability to be humbled.
No, he's a narcissist through and through.
Yeah, and
That's
unless
why he would never hurt himself. He's too narcissistic.
That's it. That's it. And I think that that's also why he would never. I don't see Ernie committing any crimes against a person that would cause him to do great amounts of time in prison. It stems from that same narcissistic source, right? But I do believe that with the continued drug use, like this man right here, this man, he said that in 5 days, Ernie took a rest. A rest. In 5 days, my boy, you should have slept a work week.
Yeah.
You should have slept 40 hours in 5 days. That's a
Well,
fact.
Clean Urine Stash said that Chris was absolutely tweaking.
Oh, yeah, he's tweaked out for sure. But
So
he
when
also
he-
said, "Oh, I didn't know Ernie was using, and I'm not a saint either." And no one is up putting their toes in a rubber butt at 5 a.m. if they're not tweaking.
Oh,
right?
the cops are well aware of Chris and
Oh,
Mark.
yeah.
Trust me.
Oh yeah. So
Yeah, didn't you text me and say that Chris was going to be arrested? Can you
I'm not going to talk
expand on
about that right now. Yeah.
Well, if you don't, I'm going to. I
Okay.
will call and find out.
Okay.
Why is this a secret? Who are you hiding this from, Lisa K? Chris isn't on here.
I didn't know you were going to say that on a live.
Well, you text me and I said, why? What did Chris do?
harboring a fugitive.
No.
Can you
Oh.
just tell us, please?
Drugs?
Stop being so secretive.
He did something with Ernie's belongings after Ernie went to jail illegally.
All he did was look at his stuff. What's illegal about that?
I'm guessing he sold it.
It involved money.
Yeah, he sold it. He auctioned it to the highest bidder.
Oh, I hope it was a YouTuber. Damn.
Yikes! So how did the police find out this? Well, no, I'm not gonna preempt you into going any further.
No, Amber, she's fine.
You know what? There was also like I was stirred to believe. I was like, you know what? Somebody's gonna offer him to pay for this stuff, even if they send him $1 Cash App and say, "Hey, I'll give you $200 if you ship all that stuff to me. I want to see what's in it."
That's
Right.
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, Viper. It was in his house. He has every right to open it. So did he sell the sex butt? Lisa,
No.
what did he do with it, Lisa?
The sex butt? I don't know. Oh, with Ernie's stuff?
Silicone playmate.
Lisa, lighten up. If you guys have not watched Lisa's live from today, please go and watch it. It was very enlightening about lips. And
Well, I want to make that my parting comment. Lips and
Okay,
Mark
make
are
it your parting
trash.
comment.
oh, I'm
Do
sorry.
it,
Bye, Benny. Bye, Lisa. Have a great night.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, Miss Lisa.
Lips and Mark are trash. That's it.
Is that that's your comment?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, Miss Lisa, I do thank you for joining me, and thank you. You always bring a wealth of knowledge. I don't care. This is me and you, right? To me, you always bring a wealth of knowledge, and I appreciate your work yesterday morning. And for that, I will deem you today a patron saint.
Oh,
So
I just did the human thing to you.
you did, but it's on the YouTube. Common sense is not always so common.
Well, I'm not going to watch somebody get stabbed on a live. You read about
Me-
that enough. God.
Every day, every day. So,
Okay.
what did Matt
Thanks for
say?
having me.
Thank you so much, lovely. You have a great night.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye. All right. Well, what did Mags say? Could you say it again, Mags? I can't seem to. Anyways, I had some other stuff I was going to pull up. I actually have, yes, Casey, good to see you, baby. Thank you, Crybaby. I think that this is a very unlikely intervention and that it could most certainly save Ernie's life. I do believe that wholeheartedly. Thank you, Izzy. Thank you, lovely. I guess in closing, could someone put Lisa K's link in the chat? Can I get someone to put Nikki's link in the chat? I would like Izzy, put your link in the chat. And with that, the Bridgewater. I had some Bridgewater stuff pulled up just so as, you know, folks that were maybe leaning towards, you know, this was going to be an easy way for Ern to get out, that, you know, Bridgewater is not, you know, it's not a play date, right? Bridgewater is, it's a real MFer. Okay. it's a real MFer. So, Crybaby, I wished I could, but you know what? The laws of probability, I'm on call. It started yesterday. The laws of probability have let me go this long, but as soon as I delve into something else, I'm going to get a call. It has been one of them weeks. People are just dying to meet me. So maybe I will come back tomorrow and kind of cover. I'll just leave my tabs open and we'll come back tomorrow. I got halfway through the programming. I wanted to talk a little bit about the phenomenon of Chris. And then I had a few Bridgewaters that I was going to pull up, but I think I will hold off on those and put together a little something more to go with. I'll erase the tabs I've used, and then I'll add some more to it, and we'll come back with a more come back with something profound again tomorrow night. How does that sound? Anyways, let me go through the contributors. We have Jackie, Cindy Lou, Crybaby. Thank you, baby. Nikki, twice. Thank you for big contributions, Nikki. Izzy Pop, thank you for your contribution, lovely. Val with 2 lovely contributions. Thank you, beautiful. We got Beth becoming a new member. Paisley gifted 5 memberships. Nikki, she gifted 5 memberships. We're All Mad Here, she gifted 5 memberships. Zena is a member for the 2nd month in a row. Michelle, thank you for your congratulations and donation. Amber Robinson is a member for 1 month. Clarification, new member. Crystal, she's coming through with being a member for 2 months. Cindy Lou, who again with a contribution. Steph K, new member. Michelle with another contribution. Chasing Roses, a new member. Tog, member for 2 months. And Sally Strange Clouds with her contribution. Ladies, I appreciate all of you individually, and you mean the world to me. So with that being said, we are going to Sodar. Anyways, I don't know how that person got my phone number, but they do. Fair enough. I love all of y'all individually. Remember, the absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence. And I know Izzy wants to hear this. It's always better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you all. Hey, LK, good to see you, baby. You waited till the last. Say the best for last, baby. Thank you, ladies. Have a great night.